Something that always surprises English learners is just how different native speech sounds compared to textbook English. It's not just faster, there's this effortless flow, almost like music.
Oh, totally. I remember the first time I really listened to a group of native speakers chat, half the words seemed to melt together. That rhythm and tone, the way they link words, it felt more like listening to a song than a list of sentences.
Exactly. And it's not about super fancy vocabulary or complicated grammar. Native speakers rely on three things: connecting their words, using intonation, and having a rhythmic pattern. That's the real secret sauce.
What's wild is how much those three things change your understanding. For example, when someone says, "What day ya doin'?" instead of "What are you doing?" It's the same message, but the vibe is so much more natural. Makes you realize why traditional study methods don't always help with sounding fluent.
So, this is where the shadowing technique comes in. Instead of just memorizing phrases or drilling grammar, shadowing has you repeat after a native speaker almost instantly, like you're their echo. It's surprisingly effective.
Yeah, and it's not about getting every word perfect on your first try. Shadowing really tunes your ear to the patterns of real speech. You start to notice when the voice rises, falls, or which words blend together naturally.
That actually reminds me when I first tried shadowing, I kept tripping over the connected sounds. But after a few sessions, my mouth just started copying that flow. It's like your brain and tongue finally start working as a team.
I've had something like that happen too. Once you get into the rhythm, you stop overthinking and just react. It's a little like learning to play a song by ear instead of reading sheet music.
Let's dig into the steps. First, pick a short native clip, maybe a movie scene or a podcast snippet. The key is picking something that sounds real, not robotic.
And then, before jumping in, just listen. Really notice the speaker's emotion, how their pitch changes, and where they connect or stress words. It's not just about the words themselves.
After that, play the clip again and try to repeat right after, almost at the same time. Don't pause or worry about mistakes. Just echo the flow.
Recording yourself is a game changer too. When you listen back and compare it to the original, you'll catch things like missing rhythm or a flat intonation that you might not notice in the moment.
And honestly, don't try to fix everything at once. Focus on just one or two little details each time, maybe your sound or keeping up the pace. Those small tweaks add up fast. Let's try a bit of this together. Imagine I'm reading. When you listen carefully, English sounds like music. Every sentence has rhythm and emotion. Give it a shot. Shadow my words just a second behind.
I love how your voice sort of pulls mine along. It feels awkward at first, but after a few tries, you start to find that smoother flow. It's pretty cool watching your mouth and brain sync up with the natural rhythm.
Exactly. That's when it clicks. You're not just copying sounds, you're absorbing the energy and connection in real speech. Each round, your confidence grows a bit more. Now, here's a fun twist intonation. The way you say really can mean shock or just doubt, depending on your tone. Try saying it with a rising voice versus a flat one.
That small change totally shifts the meaning. When I tried shadowing both, I could feel how the emotion comes alive. Shadowing isn't just repeating, it's about feeling what's behind the words too.
Right. You want to put yourself in the speaker's shoes. Don't just mimic the sound, let the emotion come through. That's what makes your English sound real, not robotic. A lot of learners trip up by focusing on grammar while shadowing. But that actually gets in the way. Just let the grammar go and follow the sound.
I learned that lesson the hard way. I used to pause and think about every tense, which totally broke the flow. Now I just stick to the speaker's speed, even if I miss a word or two.
Exactly. Practicing a few minutes every day matters more than long, exhausting sessions. Plus, relaxing your mouth helps make those connected sounds much smoother.
What surprised me most is how quickly it becomes automatic. When you stop overpronouncing and just let things flow, you actually start sounding more native.
One thing to remember, you don't have to erase your accent. Instead, aim for clarity and confidence. Focus on tricky sounds like the or are, and listen to native speakers often.
Definitely. And choosing just one accent to follow for a while, like American or British, makes it easier to pick up that specific rhythm. If you shadow the same speaker, your ear adapts way faster.
That's how it worked for me. I found after a week of shadowing the same podcast host, my mouth started picking up their little habits without even thinking about it. At the end of the day, shadowing isn't about perfection. It's about building confidence and breaking the habit of overthinking every sentence.
Exactly. Once you start thinking in English, not just translating, you'll notice everything gets so much easier. It's a habit, not a one-time trick. Fluency comes from those little daily steps.
And every confident English speaker you meet started the same way, listening, repeating, making small improvements. Shadowing just speeds up that process in a really hands-on way. So, if you're ready to make English part of your daily routine, subscribe and practice with us each week. We've got real conversations, pronunciation tips, and tons of motivation coming your way.
I'm Khan, and this is the Shadow English Podcast. Let's keep listening, repeating, and shadowing because your voice deserves to be heard. See you in the next episode.